Hello children, and welcome to today's Bible story. What better place to tell this week's story than down on the allotment with all the flowers and the vegetables. We have our Bible people and some visiting birds who will help with the story as well.
Jesus had left the house in Capernaum, where he had been teaching about being part of God's big family. He had come down to the Sea of Galilee, where he was to teach people. But there were so many people and the crowds kept coming. He decided to get into a boat and to go a little off the shore so he could be heard by everyone. So Jesus taught them in parables, which are little stories with a very big meaning. A man went to sow a field. Now in those days, farmers would throw the seed, but of course not all of it would land in the right place. Some would land on the pathway between the fields, the place where many people have trodden and the path is very hard. Of course the seeds can't take root there, so what happens to them? The birds will come and they will eat all the seed. Some seed fell on stony ground. There was not much earth there. The plant quickly grew, but as soon as the sun came out, it withered and died. Some seed fell amongst the thorns, and the thorns grew up, and the seed yielded no grain. But the grain that lands on the good soil, it just grows and grows and grows. It gives many more times the grain, 30, 60, 100 times more. Just like this bean that grew into this big bean plant. And this bean plant will produce many, many beans from just a few seeds, because it's planted in the good soil. Later, Jesus was with his disciples and some other followers. He began to explain about the parable. He explained that the seed the sower was sowing was the word of God, rather like when people tell other people about Jesus. Now the seed that fell on the path where the ground was hard was like somebody who hears about Jesus, but because their hearts are very hard, they don't want to make friends with Jesus, and so that seed can't grow. Then some of the seed fell on the stony ground. There was some soil there, and the seed put down some very shallow roots. It's rather like somebody who hears about Jesus and they're very happy at first. But because they haven't taken Jesus deep into their heart, then as soon as any troubles come along, then they don't want to be friends with Jesus anymore. And then there's the seed that falls amongst the weeds, the thorns and the thistles. Now, no plant really can thrive where there are very, very strong weeds. And it's rather like somebody who knows about Jesus, but there are other things that take their time. They don't spend time with Jesus, either reading Bible stories or praying. They would prefer to play computer games all the time, or perhaps some sport, football, cricket, takes all their time, and they're not making any time for God at all. And so that plant will die too. But in the good soil, we hear that Jesus says that the plant will grow, and it will produce 30, 60, 100 times more seeds. So it's like somebody who hears about Jesus and they take him deep into their hearts. And that little seed of faith that's planted there is watered with prayer and fed with Bible stories. And they spend time with Jesus and they will flourish and grow. That's a lovely story, isn't it? Of how our faith can flourish and grow and produce many, many seeds, many good things. So shall we have our song now, the song of the seed sower.